Well, good morning. Monday morning. Got the Monday morning blues this morning. And that's despite being a reasonably productive morning already. It's not even 9 o'clock and I've already knocked out my daily press-up challenge total, 50 press-ups. I've already done half an hour's worth of Spanish lesson. And I'm about to drop 4 prints that I sold last week off to their prospective new homes. But despite all of that, I just get the feeling that it's going to be a bit of a tough week. Not sure whether it's I'm sure there's a lot of things affecting this, but I'm not sure whether it's just the ongoing situation. I think as well, looking at the weather in the next week, it looks like it's going to be pretty just bland. So difficult to even sort of go out and be inspired from that perspective. I also seem to be really good at adding things to a to-do list. I kind of come up with all of these ideas and I put them on the to-do list, and then I almost get sort of paralyzed by, so much to do. Even though what I just said, the weather looks like it's going to be pretty bland, so it's, perfect opportunity to be indoors, but it's just so difficult to I think maybe half of it is just the head. It's very difficult to sort of stay focused on one thing, and I'm sure that's the current situation. Speaking of sort of staying at home, I also have that little, almost the fear of missing out, I guess, a little bit. So even though we can't, I'm not traveling too far, when I'm in the office working, which of course I need to be, there's part of me that's kind of going, should I be outside just trying to even, collect a few images, or, what if the light is, my office, I keep it quite dark, and what if I look outside and it's like yesterday morning I was doing a few bits and pieces around the office and popped my head out and it was like a real lovely pink glow that by the time I got out was gone. But I just have to, I've spoke about this many times on the vlogs, just try to... Oh, and the other thing that's kind of going to annoy me is I'm still on this blooming keto diet, 3rd week now, and I'm about to go in where I'm dropping off the prints. There's also a bakery and it does the best jalapeno and cheddar sourdough, which I can't have. So yeah, I'm sure that's probably the only reason why I'm really upset. Anyway, I'll take small mercies, as I say, dropping off 4 prints. As always, extremely happy and thankful that folks are still purchasing the odd print here and there. So best get them off to their new homes and then get back to the office. Decided before I started in the old office to come out and do a little bit of a dander. Get the head showered, as we like to say. Came out here yesterday with Nicola and noticed now it's a little bit scruffy this morning, but there were some really nice beach patterns, so can't go in at the moment. These, even though it looks like the waves are kind of sticking where they are, every so often there's a bit of a sweeper. So, but yeah, some lovely beach patterns down there, so I might grab the Fuji later on and come down, but going to go for a little bit of a dander. So I just very quickly wanted a little bit of a peek in behind the curtain, so to speak. So one of my most popular images, The Birds Will Fly, which was created using some rust that I had found. Well, the rust that I had found, apologies for those who have purchased that print and spent lots of their hard-earned cash, and that's how it started. So yeah, and I think that's what I'm going to do this week. I think I'm going to go on a little bit more of it, because I'm still not very comfortable heading out with the full kit. I think I'll come out and do a little bit of sort of collection of elements, and maybe spend a little bit of time in the office doing a little bit of creative work. But I don't know whether it's the new stabilization in the iPhone 12 Max Pro, Maximus, Spartacus, or something else. But for the last 6 months or so, I've been using the Spectre app for sort of longer exposure. And unless you have the phone quite stabilized or on a tripod or something, it can be a little bit soft in places. But I've just been playing about with it here, and okay, I have only been looking at it on the phone itself, not on the screen. But actually, the bits that you want to be nice and sort of sharp seem to be reasonably sharp. So it's incredible. It never ceases to amaze me what we have in our hands here. You know, I've got a phone that is recording this little sort of segment at 24 frames a second. It can also do obviously 60 frames a sec, 30, 60 at 4K. Do 120 and 240 frames a second as well if you want, but also a little bit of sort of longer exposure. So I think what I'm going to do is, we've got quite a nice kind of swell behind me here. What I quite often like doing is recording a little bit of video footage in slow-mo, in super slow-mo, and then sort of overlaying a little bit of a longer exposure image on that, putting it to a little bit of music, again just keeping those creative juices going. So I think that's maybe what I'll do. I'll work on a couple of little segments. Pretty miserable weather outside, so making good use of office time, although not in my office because Nicola's using it for the next couple of days. Anyway, I digress. Tweaking images. You know, I'm really trying as much as possible to not do too much tweaking to images. You know, I think whenever you look at all of the options that you have, even in a program such as Lightroom, without even going into other plugins and things, there's so many different options. You know, from the basic panel to the hue saturation slider, luminance, tone curves, you know, radial filters and virtual grads and things, you know, split toning. And I think sometimes we can basically think, well, we have to hit all of those buttons on every single image, and that just isn't the case. And it's certainly something that I've been very guilty of in the past. Just working on a very scruffy image right now. It's going to be coming out in a vlog, actually. You will have already seen it. And again, it's one of those situations where less is more. Just trying to sort of remember what I'm trying to kind of say here in the image without going OTT with all of the various bits and pieces of editing paraphernalia that we have. So, but yeah, anyone else out there love to tweak and tweak a bit too much? Must try harder. So we just had some crazy weather moving through, and I thought I would come out, as I like to do, you know, the edge of the weather system. And sure enough, well, you're not going to be able to see it unless I darken it down. Look at that! Oh, big anvil cloud on the go. Actually, the clouds even out here are just, look at those. Oh, stunning. You know, cool blue light as well. Now we might get a little bit of the sun's just in and around there somewhere. Even the little rainbow to be had in there. But I just had this on its maximum focal length, shooting in black and white, little square format, just on that anvil cloud there. Very nice indeed. The beach is looking all very foamy, and I'm looking ridiculous. Oh, here comes a dog. Hello, Mr. Dog. Hello. Oh, toy that way, look. Didn't care. Right. Let's see whether we get any light coming on this. Well, good morning, Friday morning, and probably see the light has the potential to do something quite nice. So I'm just going to wander up to the little harbour again. Now, there's also a very good chance that we'll get hit by some very heavy sleet showers and a bit of hail, but lovely reflections of the wet pavement stones as well. Beautiful, lovely purple glow. You can just see behind me here. Look at that. Out at East Strand would probably be quite nice because you've got quite a nice view. While again at this time of year we don't get to see the sun on the horizon at sunrise. You've got quite a big expansive open space to look into. But just go for a bit of a wet wander. And look, I'm one of those sad people as well with a GoPro strapped to him. Contrast of colour is beautiful. Over to the east where the sun is rising, you've got this lovely sort of ambery, stormy glow, and then if I just swing you around out to the west, ooh, very blue steely, and actually we do have some gaps in the clouds as well, so look at this bad boy up here too. Oh, look at that. Oh, I think I'm going to put the iPhone in a 16:9 aspect ratio and see whether I can make an image here. I would actually like to have a little bit of that sort of contrast of colour between the amber and the blue, so let's give that a whirl, eh? Look at that there, that's gorgeous. You know, it can be the simplest of things that really just pleases me with a camera. Although having said that there, that also pleases me much as well. Ooh. But it was just the reflections and the wind causing the ripples in the water. Something so simple as that. I've spoken about this many times before. The fact that the camera has opened my eyes to just seeing beauty all around. And even though here I am still, and in fact we have just had our lockdown extended to the 5th of March. Bonus! Even though I'm kind of stuck here, just, you know, thinking inside the box. Helps when the box looks like that though. Not too shabby at all. Stormlight, lovely early morning sun. Oh, people screaming going in the water. They breed them tough up north. Not me though, I wasn't born up north, not this far north. Wouldn't catch me in there. Ooh, I think that's count number 13 for the year so far, so fun times. That's my morning dander done with, so I'm going to wander back to the office, go sit in the van and record the last bit of Fridays from the van, which you guys will see today, but by the time this gets released you'll have seen it another day. Yes, I'm confused too. Sunday morning, end of another week, and I'm just in the process of doing another client print, and it's actually a print on Glossy, the Photospeed Platinum Barata, and it's the first time I've printed anything sort of glossy in a while. I don't have too many in my store, and so that involves having to switch from matte black to photo black ink, and for that, Photospeed, I'm using their ink refill system, and so you kind of have these little chips. Oh, where's the camera? There you go. This is actually the PK one that was in here, so when I want to change over, I put the new PK chip in, I do the ink changeover, and then before I start printing, I actually put the old PK black in again. It just, because the printer needs a certain amount of ink in the chip to do the ink change, you sort of do the change with the new chip. So that's what I'm going to, well, that's looks to be what's in the process now. Trying not to do this that often, because of course there is a certain amount of ink that is used when you do that changeover through. So it's a bit frustrating when I do have a glossy print to do and maybe only one, because it's a bit of a overkill maybe. So what I might actually do is I might actually print out a couple of stock images, or at least get some other prints proofed and ready while I have the photo black ink in. Anyway, I'm rambling, so I'm going to go ahead, print this out. It's beautiful, beautiful frosty morning out there. Would love to have got into a woodland or something, but staying local as always. Right guys, once again I hope you've enjoyed this little moments between. I think that's week 5 or something now, week 4. I honestly, all days just merge into one. I'm going to go off, print this out, and we'll catch up again next week.